Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Zamboni Talk. As always, before we get started today, I hope you all have an amazing day. And if you haven't yet, I really ask you to do me a favor and like and subscribe. And any comments, any thoughts down below, I'd love to hear them. And that's how we're going to get this channel growing. So, as I always say, I'm having tons of fun making these videos. We're getting going. We're rolling through. We're going to keep making them. And we're going to keep getting the positive, good message out. And here we go. So, in today's video, as this subject got sprung upon me last night as I was getting home from work. And a bit of a story here. So, I was getting home from work yesterday. And I was working my side job here, not my regular job, because my regular job's 24-hour shifts, so I don't get home till the morning. But I was working my side job, regular, 5 a.m. to 3 p.m., 10-hour shift sort of thing, right? So I get home, I pull in at about 3:30 onto my street. I'm parking my truck, and I see someone on the side of the road that he looked really down in the dumps, right? And he looked really upset. He was kind of leaning against the pole, and I just went up and asked if he was all right as he was sitting, outside where my condo is. So he tells me that there's a construction site right next to mine. They're building another apartment building, and he told me that he just got the job 3 days ago, and now he has lost his job. And he was a heavy equipment operator sort of thing, right? So I was talking to him, and before this, he was out of work for the last 3 months. Then he got 3 days of work, boom, out of work again, right? So I started talking to him, asking really what's going on, how he's dealing with it, and what else is going on in his life. He tells me that his girlfriend of many, many years found out that he lost his job as well, and he was going through tough times because he didn't have a job before that. Now she's leaving him. She's saying she's done with the whole thing. So I couldn't help but think, man, this guy's life, I should say, is really crumbling before my eyes. And so I began to talk to him, and as I began to talk to him, I started to notice why a lot of this misfortune was happening to him. Because is it his fault that he lost his job because the construction site right next to me, the developer that was building it, lost financing and is in a huge money situation and the project is now completely delayed? Is that his fault whatsoever? Absolutely not, right? That is the times we're in. The interest rates are high. Things happen. It's super unfortunate. But as I was talking to this fellow, he kept making excuses for everything that was going on in his life. And the prior video that I had here is that you have to take ownership for everything that is going on in your life, whether it is your fault or not. So the fact that this individual let it get to this point, even where he was out of work for a long period of time, had a couple days on the job, and now he's out again. You should never even let your life get to this point, right? Because if he's in an industry that is so volatile that you don't know if you're going to have work, or you only have work for 3 days and you don't have it for a couple months after that, you can't be in that, right? We, especially as men, there is a very big burden of performance where you are required to perform and to provide for those that you love and those that are in your family, because that is what men are expected to do in society, right? And I don't want to get into all the gender roles because that's a video, a subject for another video. However, people are a lot less accepting of guys going through this because even if you look out in the public, how many women are homeless compared to men? It's a very small percentage, right? So, anyways, I kept talking to him. You know, he kept making excuses, and I, I just thought that it was a bit ridiculous that after all this time, you realize things aren't working. You have to change your life. You cannot keep beating your head against the wall and expect a different result. It's just not going to happen. And that's really the subject of this video, is that you need to be the complete package, right? Or else people are not going to tolerate it, whether that's your loved ones, your family, or anything else in general, right? Because I almost guarantee that this guy went home after I was talking to him and he complained to his girlfriend, his longtime girlfriend, about what is going on. I'm sure he went along the lines of saying, the economy's tough right now, interest rates are high. It's really hard to make money in this environment. I can't find a job. Um, you know, everything else along those lines. And that is not going to help in any way whatsoever, right? So I wish people didn't have to go through things like this, because I felt awful, because even before this, he started to tell me his life story a bit, and he said that he even sold his condo a couple months ago, right? He made a pretty good profit off of it, but now that he hasn't been working for all this time, he's dipping into those funds that he got from the condo, and now he's renting, right? But he dipping into those funds that he got, and that's what he's using to live off. And I thought, that is just horrible, because now you're going to go through all the funds, all the proceeds from that home sale, and now you're going to have to pay rent. You're not going to get another place to live, right? Me personally, if I was in that situation where I was going to lose my job, I had a tough time making my mortgage, I would have put a tenant in the place, and then I would have found another cheaper situation to live, so that at least the difference, I would be coming out ahead still, right? I wouldn't be losing money, and at the same time, I'm still building equity in my place because the tenant would be paying it, right? That's how I would deal with that situation. And he dealt with it in a very, very bad manner, because not only did he sell the condo kind of in a rush because he lost his job, but he sold it at a great discount, right? I heard, he told me the price, he showed me the listing, and I was just, yeah, I was very disappointed with the whole situation. And I'm sure there's many other situations like this going on in the world every single day. But this is not the way I think, right? Because I went back to my girlfriend after this whole situation happened, and I said, what would you do in this situation? Right? Because I know the way women are, that it's instinctual, it's their instincts from millions of years ago, that they have to be with somebody who provides for them. And as soon as that is no longer happening, they will leave. And it's not a flaw of them, it's just a feature women have, right? And you have to accept that, and you cannot make excuses for it. So I asked her, I said, what would you do if that, I told her the whole story of what happened with this individual. And I said, what would you do if that was my situation? And she said exactly what I thought she would say. She said, I'll give you a bit of time to figure your situation out, and then if you took as long as this guy did, then I would be out of here. And that, to me is exactly what I thought I would hear. And brings you back to the video here. You have to strive to be the complete package, right? We do not have the luxury in life, or anybody really in general, if you want to be wildly successful in this world, to sit back and make excuses and play the victim card for what is going on in your life. The proper way to handle this whole thing that went down with this guy, why he was on the side of the road sulking, why his girlfriend just left him, why he just lost his job, is as soon as misfortune started happening in your life, because it's bound to happen to everybody, but you have to look at your life as either you're winning or you're learning. There's no two ways around it, right? When something goes wrong, you learn, you adapt, and you overcome. And when something's going right, you're winning, you keep the momentum going. That's all life is, right? There's none of this, oh, things are happening to me, right? And playing the victim card and making excuses. There's just none of that. You strive to be the complete package, and when stuff's going wrong, you learn. He should have got up the next day after he lost that job, after he was off for 3 months, which is ridiculous. But he should have got up and said, things aren't working in my life. I have to change things up. I have to make a couple audibles on the fly here. And we got to get to work because there's people that rely on me. Okay? And that is the mentality you have to have. So that's the point I wanted to get across. This video gave me the inspiration yesterday as I was talking to him. Really gave me the insight, and I thought about it all night. And then this morning I'm making this video. So I hope you all really enjoy the video, and I hope you all can take this to heart. And if more people can abandon that victim mentality and really work hard to be the complete package and strive to be that, and achieve something every day, the world will be a much better place. Because somebody like this, I'm much more worried about in society than somebody that's killing it every day, doing really well. Right? So be one of those individuals and get after it. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Daily Zamboni Talk.